Hello, everybody. My name is Pavel Padilla, as always. This is my lesson plan template. Just a little word of warning. I don't have any in-classroom experience, so I'd really appreciate the feedback that any of you give me, especially if you work on the field. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. My teacher name is Mr. Mendoza, obviously. Date of lesson is when I turned it in the first time. I hope to be teaching fifth grade. Content is math, of course. At least that's my favorite. Time of lesson, I did morning math block just to not be boring and say something like 9 a.m. Approximate length of lesson. Um, I'm super not good with time and like knowing how long something takes, especially in a classroom setting. So I'm just gonna assume with an hour, but knowing teaching is probably gonna take longer than that. My first common core standard is math content NFB4A, which is interpret the product of A and B times Q, which is just essentially a fraction times a whole number. I won't get too much into it. For example, use a visual fraction model to show 2/3 times 4 equals 8/3 and create a story context for this equation. So yeah, this is what I'm really going for, using visual fractions to model something. And we'll go into detail on the bottom of my lesson plan. My first, I guess, my ISTE standard is 1.6a, is student chooses the appropriate platforms and tools for meeting the desired objectives. So I'm using this tool that I'll show again at the bottom to achieve this. That's what I'm going for. Measurable objectives. Objective number one, this is the math portion. Given a set of visual models, students will solve multiplication problems involving a fraction and a whole number with at least 80% accuracy. I don't know how realistic this 80% is. Again, knowing classroom experience, so I'm just shooting the dark here. My second objective is given a collaborative mural. If for those that don't know, mural is the one we use with in class, the first class it was, and then a little bit towards I think the fourth or third class. Students will model at least one multiplication of a fraction by a whole number using visual tools, aka mural. The I can statement that I'm really going for is I can multiply a fraction by a whole number using a model and explain my thinking. Slash, how can I use visuals to show that my essential question, I'm sorry, is how can I use visuals to show what it means to multiply a fraction by a whole number? My class context. I try to be really creative with this one. So I said this is a fifth grade inclusive classroom with 18 students. The class includes a range of learners, including two students with IEPs for math support, one English language learner, students that are learning English. A several student performing above grade level. The class benefits from visual models, guided practice, and technology tools that support collaborative and differentiated learning. So I'm not just sitting up there and lecturing. My topic is multiplying fractions by a whole number using visual models. Again, this is the whole theme of the lesson plan. My rationale. Why? Students must develop a conceptual understanding of fraction multiplication before transitioning to abstract computation, harder equations. This lesson helps bridge the gap using visual representation, hands-on, and collaborative tools as a group. It builds on prior knowledge, hopefully that they learned in fourth grade or before that, of unit fractions and introduces a key skill used in measurement and real-life applications, rulers, uh, building blocks, such stuff like that. This concept will also serve as a foundation for future topics like volume and scaling, more into the science area. My vocab here is fraction, a number that represents equal parts of a whole or a group. My math for teachers 2, 3, and 1 friends will know all about this stuff. Product, the result of multiplication. Repeated addition, which is essentially the same as multiplication. Adding the same number multiple times used to help understanding multiplication. So why is this important? These words are essential to help students connect what they already know about multiplication and fractions to new ways of thinking. Students' friendly definitions help ensure understanding of the model. So using really simple words will help them understand better. I'm not trying to, you know, not trying to introduce the word quadratic or stuff like that to them because they're just not going to get it at this point. My research-based strategies using visual models. I'm a big hands-on and visual learner, so I chose these ones. Based on National Council of Teachers of Mathematics and Common Core best practices, students benefit from seeing the math through diagrams before abstracting it, before using it. Collaborative learning as a group. Students engage in peer discussion using Mural, the application, to explain their models, increasing understanding through shared thinking. If you understand it, you can teach it. And if you're teaching it, you're understanding it more. Scaffolded practice. Guided steps break the skill into manageable parts and support every type of learner. My references, NCTM, Common Core Standards, obviously. This website I learned about bridging mathematics, how to make it easier, essentially, ISD standards as we learned above, and more math Common Core standards. Activating and engagement strategies. To begin the lesson, I will try to show a video of real world scenarios. For example, if I eat one third of a pizza each day for 3 days, how much pizza will I have in total? Essentially, one third times three. Then students will make a quick prediction on the mural. That's an introduction to the app of what they think the answer is and a why. This formula gets students thinking about repeated fractions, prior knowledge on both fractions and multiplication. And I didn't add, but obviously it introduces them to that app like I mentioned before. Suggested time for the steps and procedures. I went with 5 minutes to watch the video and mural prediction, 2 minutes plus 3 minutes to talk about it and share our answers. This will be a whole group thing. 10 to 15 minutes for teacher models. I model a fraction times a whole number. Example, like I said up there, one third times three with fraction bars on the screen. And then students will mimic what I do on mural alongside me. Again, this is a whole group thing. 20 minutes, students will work in pairs to complete 3 multiplication problems on mural with the drag and drop and drawing features as I circle around the room to see how they're doing. This is small groups. I'm not sure if I want to do the AOB thing, the above average, the normal average, and then below average. 10 to 15 minutes for the final one, which is students solve similar problem independently using their own example and upload a screenshot using Mural. This is independent practice at the end. Accommodations. Students with IEPs will receive visual models preloaded already to their Mural frame. So like instead of having to build it themselves, they already have it. They just got to pick which one. English language learners will receive vocab card sets with visual examples and explaining the models. So something like I multiplied blank by blank and got blank because for them it'd be yo multipliqué blanco por blanco y yo creo que es esto. Advanced learners will be challenged with a word problem requiring fractional multiplication and mixed numbers. My wrap up. What patterns did we notice? How does multiplying fractions compare to whole number multiplication? So what's this difference and what's different, what's similar? Assessments. I'll go over all 3 of them and I'll tell you guys which ones I plan on using. Which one I plan on using in the in-class presentation. Mural pair work. Teacher observes collaborative and accuracy during the modeling practice. It kind of goes alongside with this one right here, the second one. This would be formative, of course. This exit ticket that I was thinking about changing, students explain and model a fraction times whole model problem independently or as a team. I'm leaning more towards as a group, and I will make this formative. I think I will make this my in-classroom lesson, but I still got to tweak it. That's why it's a little broad. Reflection screenshot. This is the final one. This is summative. Students submit a screenshot of a self-made mural frame showing original problem and visual work. They got the original problem, how they worked through it, and what their answer is. I plan on using that as a summative. Whether that's independent, it doesn't have to be in the same day, but I plan on still using that framework to do this summative. And yeah, I have to fill out this reflection once you guys give me pointers and what you think works and what you think don't work from experience. And I appreciate any feedback you'll give me. Thanks for watching.